out of it.
Oh, I beg your pardon. No interruption intended. Good evening, Hooper.
Good morning, Mr. Proudfoot.
Very quiet everywhere, isn't it?
It usually is at 2 o'clock in the morning, sir.
2 o'clock? Great heavens. I mean, well, good night, Hooper.
Mr. Proudfoot, sir.
Yes?
I know it's not my place to be telling you, sir, but always dress yourself properly before coming home to the wife, sir.
Merciful. I'm gadding about.
Well,
Nothing of the sort. I merely popped out to look for Cherry, my daughter. She promised to come straight home from the theatre.
Children can be very worrying like that, sir. I have the same trouble with my...
That's a different matter altogether. Your son is a boy. My daughter is a girl.
Humphrey, where on earth have you been? I thought you were in the bathroom.
That was 10 minutes ago. I'm too worried to stay in one place for long.
What have you been doing?
I couldn't bear the suspense any longer. I popped outside to look up and down the street. Oh, where can Cherry be, Caroline? What can she be doing? I thought I could trust her with Gregory.
You mightn't know that boy as well as you think.
He's my own clerk. He's worked in my office for over 3 years. In the whole of my experience as a solicitor, I've never met anybody with such integrity. It worries me sometimes. Caroline, may I ask you something?
Of course.
Is Cherry aware of the seamy side of life?
What do you mean by that?
Well, has she been informed of the biological facts?
Oh, I think so. She's 19, and most modern girls at that age know as much as their parents.
Oh, surely not. You don't mean that. Ah, here she is.
Please, sir, it's Mr. Gregory Thrussell.
At last.
Good morning, Mr. Proudfoot.
Good heavens, Russell. What's been happening? Where is my daughter?
I don't know, sir. She left me and went off with some fellow.
What?
It happened as we were leaving the theatre. Cherry ran into this fellow. She seemed to know him awfully well, and he suggested that we should all go to a nightclub.
Don't tell me you went.
Well, I had no alternative. Cherry seemed all for it, and, well, I could hardly leave her alone with the fellow. So we all went along to the knick-knack.
The what?
The knick-knack.
What does that mean?
Well, that was the name of the club.
Oh, the name of the club. Oh, stupid on me.
It was an awful place, sir. Everybody was laughing and dancing, and at midnight, a whole lot of girls came onto the stage with practically nothing on.
Well, why didn't you phone for me?
Go on, Gregory.
Well, I just couldn't stand it any longer, so I told this fellow exactly what I thought of him, and then I slapped his face. Well, after I picked myself up, Cherry and he had vanished.
Do you know the name of that fellow?
Yes, I think it was, Fred Gilby.
Fred Gilby? Why, there's a Gilby family in this block of flats.
Aren't those the people with all the money?
Exactly. The father of that boy is Alfred Gilby, the shady, bibulous bounder on the 4th floor.
The man who runs Greyhounds.
Precisely. I helped to prosecute him in the 1945 stadium scandal. One of his dogs had been given a stimulant. It did 200 yards in 6 seconds.
His wife seems quite a pleasant woman.
She's an ex-musical comedy actress. What sort of progeny can you expect from parents like that? The boy's nothing but a fox. A wolf. And if it's the last thing I do, I'll keep the wolf from my daughter.
Oh, Terry, I don't.
I like you quite a lot.
I don't know what the present generation is coming to. In the whole of my experience, I've never met such wanton behavior on the part of this boy.
Oh, gosh, I'd better go.
All right, sweet.
Good night.
Good night, darling. Till tomorrow.
It's tomorrow already.
My father would never have allowed it.
Fathers. Why don't they mind their own business?
I don't intend to say very much to you in front of Gregory, but I do intend that he shall hear me say this. I'm ashamed, bitterly and grievously ashamed.
Why, Poppy, what have you done?
Come along, darling.
You needn't wait, Russell. I'll see you at the office in the morning. Oh, Here's 10 shillings for a taxi home.
Oh, I don't mind waiting, Mr. Proudfoot. I can get a workman's bus at 4 a.m.
Not in evening dress, you can't. Besides, you're not a working man.
Well, I do 11 hours a day.
That's what I mean. Now, no more arguments. Off you go. And put a raw steak on that eye. Corned beef or something. Go on, off you go. Now, miss, I'll ask you to give an account of yourself. Where have you been?
Daddy, I've had a wonderful time. Fred took me to a nightclub. Oh, Mummy, he's such a darling. He lives 3 little floors up. Perhaps he's still thinking of me, whispering, Cherry, Cherry, Cherry.
What's her name? Cherry. Cherry Proudfoot. Isn't she the daughter of that little legal loony downstairs?
Yes, that's right.
Now listen. Listen, I don't want you to have anything to do with her, see? It was her father that made those inquiries about my stimulated greyhounds, remember?
Well, he couldn't help that. It was only his job.
Oh, what a job. Solicitors and lawyers are nothing but limpets, and Proudfoot's the lowest limpet of the lot.
Alfred Gilby. Your precious Fred's father is nothing more than a social drone. He's a black market gadabout. He's traded in cameras, cigarette lighters, and silk stockings. And just before last Christmas, he was in undersized walnuts. At the present moment, he happens to be running greyhounds. And it won't be my fault if very shortly I don't make him run faster than they do. He's a reproach to decent society, and so is his wretched son.
Why, what's Fred done?
Silence! I won't even discuss him.
You'll have to, Daddy. I'm going to marry him.
Oh. What did you say?
I'm going to marry Fred.
I will remind you that you are only 19, Cherry, and until one day before your 21st birthday, any question of your marriage is absolutely subject to my consent, given in writing on Form UA 2794.
Very well, then. I'll apply to a magistrate.
Where did you get that knowledge from?
I looked it up in one of your books as soon as I met Fred. I knew you wouldn't like him. You're a Mr. Barrett of Wimpole Street.
That is a ridiculous remark. Mr. Barrett of Wimpole Street is an actor.
Humphrey, I do think you're a hard man.
I'm nothing of the sort. I'm merely trying to do my duty. Somebody's got to look after my daughter, and if I can't do it, who can?
Oh, don't, Poppy, please. I didn't mean anything I said. I didn't really. Except that I love Fred.
That's all right, Cherry. I didn't mean anything I said either. Except that I'll never give my consent. Never, never, never.
Now say good night to your father and get straight off to bed.
Good night, Poppy. Good night, Mummy.
Good night, my sweet.
Good night, Cherry.
Well, you needn't worry about her. She knows how to take care of herself.
I just can't adapt myself to things. It seems only yesterday I danced a little girl on my knee. Now suddenly, she's a woman.
Little girls are born women, Humphrey.
I did so want a barrister for a son-in-law. I don't know why.
I do. It's because you never managed to become one yourself. But you're a wonderful solicitor.
Well, that's not much consolation. Look, Caroline. For 32 years, I've carried this in my dispatch case. My father gave it to me to encourage my ambition. But I've never once worn it in court.
Never mind, dear. You've been instructing solicitor for 7 important lawsuits.
We've lost 6 of them.
But you won the 7th.
No, the defendant died. Fred Gilby, son of Alfred Gilby. Oh, I won't stand for it. Oh. S to Z, A to D, L to R, confound the thing.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to phone young Gilby and tell him exactly what I think of him.
Humphrey, don't do any such thing. You can't call him at this hour.
Oh, can't I? We'll see.
Well, for heaven's sake, don't lose your temper. You'll only make things more difficult.
I'm going to give that boy a piece of my mind. Hello, hello. This is Humphrey Proudfoot speaking. Humphrey Proudfoot of Proudfoot, Proudfoot, and Proudfoot. Solicitors. I just want to tell you that I think you're a bounder, sir.
Oh, you do you?
I certainly do. And I'll advise you to keep as far away from my daughter as possible. Only a scoundrel would keep a young girl out till past 2 o'clock in the morning. I did. You certainly did. You took her to the knack-knack. To the knock-knack. The nick-knock. It's no laughing matter, sir. You're nothing but a loose fish, a libertine, and a very nasty chip off a double-dealing old block.
Humphrey.
Hey, you. Who do you think you're talking to? This is Alfred Gilby.
Who?
Not my
Oh, steady, steady. No, don't bother. No, please don't bother. Don't bother, please.
That boy sounded very rude.
It wasn't the boy, I got the father. He's coming down here to see me.
Then I better wait until he arrives.
No, Caroline. No, I'd rather you didn't hear what he has to say. That sort of man uses words you wouldn't even understand.
That won't matter if I stay.
No. Perhaps you better wait in the hall and be ready to fetch a policeman or something.
Sounds in an awful bad temper.
Well, he's not going to frighten me.
Don't let him see your wig.
Wig? Well, I had it a moment ago. Rat it, where did I put the wretched thing?
It's Mr. Alfred Gilby, Humphrey.
Well, isn't it a small world?
Yes, very.
Would you like a cup of tea, Mr. Gilby?
I'd hate it.
Well, a cup of cocoa.
Don't be disgusting.
Oh, I just thought it might make you feel more at home.
At home, here, in the smallest flat in the building? No, you're being insulting.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I didn't mean to be. Won't you sit down, just for a moment?
Why just for a moment? Am I not welcome here?
Oh, for goodness sake.
I hope I'm not keeping you up.
No. As a matter of fact, I'm rather anxious to have a chat with you.
Indeed. The anxiety seems to have turned your toupee white.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was only trying it on.
Yes, you were trying on something when you telephoned, weren't you?
Would you care for a glass of beer if I can find one?
Are you trying to wheedle me?
No, certainly not. It's just that I think it's time we buried the hatchet.
That's why you telephoned and called me a disgusting chip off a nasty old block.
I wasn't aware that I was addressing you. My remarks were intended for your son.
Oh, that's different. That makes me feel much more friendly.
Oh, I'm glad.
If it weren't for the fact that I've reluctantly agreed for Fred to marry your daughter...
Over my dead body?
That's an excellent suggestion. We'll bury you with a hatchet. It'll save my son having a Sabbatarian Pekingese for a father-in-law.
You're trying to saddle the wrong horse, Gilby. I've kept a young fellow named Gregory Throstle up my sleeve for over 2 years, and I'm not going to let him down now.
Listen, Proudfoot, of Proudfoot, and Proudfoot, solicitors. By the way, Proudfoot, you mind if I call you Big Toe? It's shorter. If my son is stupid enough to want to marry your daughter, he's going to marry her, and nothing you can say or do will stop him.
Well, that's where you make a blue mouth.
A what?
A blue mouth.
You're going back a bit, aren't you?
On the contrary, I'm looking ahead. It so happens that Cherry is underage, and any question about marriage requires my permission in writing.
And you're not going to give it?
Not for all the tea in China.
There. And after I've been so charming. I've even brought you a bag of luxuries.
What sort of luxuries?
Eggs. 12 beautiful new-laid eggs, and now I don't know what to do with them. What'd you say?
Nothing.
No, but you thought something, didn't you?
No, not exactly.
Would you like to hold them for a moment?
No, I would not.
You ungrateful little humbug! When I bring you a gift, you take it and like it, see?
Steady.
Now, I don't want to take any unfair advantage, Big Toe, so I'm going to ask you quite nicely and simply. Are you going to let those 2 kids find their happiness in their own way?
Look out!
Or are you going to be an interfering old nuisance and make them both feel terribly sad and unhappy?
No! I'll think it over.
You've had a narrow escape.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
And now, I'll bid you good night.
Good night.
No hard feelings.
No, none at all.
Sure?
Quite.
That's a stout fella. Good night, Big Toe. Night.
Good night.
There you are, dear. Come down to the stadium and see some more trials again.
I'd love to. I've enjoyed myself.
Good. Don't be too long, Fred. Get down the stadium as soon as you can. Tell Bert to give him a rub down.
No stimulants.
What did she say?
Nothing, Dad.
Well, I'm going to have my afternoon nap. Shan't be long. Bye-bye.
He's a dear, really. When you know him.
Guess which?
That one.
Wrong.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
I want to cry.
Don't be silly. Few moments you want to throw it at me.
Fred, if ever I do, try and catch it, will you?
Come on.
Oh, thank you. I do wish we had a little flat like this. It's so much cozier than ours.
Are you sure Mr. Gilby won't mind you calling on her?
My dear, he couldn't care less. I mean, he'd be delighted. It is such a pity our two husbands can't grow to like each other. Mr. Proudfoot's such a sweet little man. I hate Alfred making that rude noise whenever he sees him.
Oh, Mummy, here's Fred and... Oh, hello, Mrs. Gilby.
Hello, dear.
Fred, you're very welcome. But I don't know what my husband would say. Come and sit down.
Mummy, look.
Oh, Cherry, I don't like that deep color on your nails. It doesn't suit you.
My dear, you look quite excited. Has Fred been behaving himself?
Of course.
Don't take it for granted. He's much too like his father sometimes.
Darling, have you had any tea?
No.
Tell Annie, would you, dear?
Okay. Goodbye, Mrs. Gilby.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Mummy.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
She's coming back, isn't she?
Of course. I don't know what she's saying goodbye for.
We've been shopping, Fred. Isn't it saucy?
Hang it, Mother, you can't wear that.
Can't I? You try and stop me. There. What do you think of it?
Oh, Lydia, it's smart. But it's awfully cheeky.
It doesn't make me look a fast woman.
I think that's what I was meaning.
Oh, but how exciting. You know, I remember years ago a certain young man got quite the wrong impression about me simply because of the hat I was wearing. He was most insistent about it, too. It was terribly embarrassing.
What did Father say?
Don't be silly, dear. It was your father. He was a devil for the ladies. He still would be if I didn't watch him. I must tell you, my dear, I once found the name Queenie in his diary. I was furious. And do you know what it turned out to be? The name of one of his greyhounds. Oh, you see, all his dogs had girls' names. I don't know why.
Just coincidence, Mother.
Yes, I suppose so. Coinciding with what?
I wouldn't know that.
Oh, that catchy number. It does something to me. You know, I'm sure I could make a great stage comeback if only my husband would let me put up the money. Woo-hoo! It must be you who makes me sing, who makes November seem like spring, who's giving me ideas I haven't had in years. It must be you. I want romance to sing about, and it must be you to blame. I want to dance and fling about.
Lydia, dear.
Good morning, sir. Was there something?
Wait here a minute.
In everything you say, you make me feel that way. It must be you. I couldn't remotely one while only do with anyone else but you.
What is the meaning of this? Caroline, what are these people doing here?
Can you be so rude? I asked Mrs. Gilby to take a cup of tea with me.
Indeed, and does taking a cup of tea with you necessitate her indulging in an exotic dance to inviting music? Behind my back and against my wishes, you deliberately invite this disrupting influence into my own home.
Really, Mr. Proudfoot, I think you're behaving disgracefully.
I am not interested in your opinions, madam,
Fred, did you hear what he called me?
but I am concerned with the shameful activities of your son.
Humphrey, for heaven's sake, think what you're saying.
Silence! He's nothing but a young Casanova, Caroline. I have concrete evidence of it in black and white.
I think you're nuts.
Oh, do you? We'll see. Mr. Pepys?
Oh,
Is that you, Alfred? I'm in the Proudfoot's flat. Will you come at once, please?
What for?
I've never been so insulted in all my life.
Oh,
There. I've wakened him from his afternoon sleep. Now, heaven help you.
Humphrey. Oh, who is this?
This, Caroline, is Mr. Pepys, my divorce case inquiry agent and social investigator.
pleased to meet you, ma'am.
Humphrey, you're making an awful fool of yourself. The man hasn't had time to investigate anybody.
Oh, yes, he has. When you've been in the business as long as I have, you develop a knack.
Proceed, Pepys.
Investigation as to character and social behaviour, case 37. On the 4th of July, 1939, the party concerned booked a double room at the Viewpoint Hotel, Littlehampton. And on the following morning, he was observed coming down the stairs, making jocular, laughing conversation with a young lady. I can't have 40 weeks without being bothered and badgered about the people. What's going on? You know, I'm beginning to dislike you. What have you been up to now?
He's been snooping, Alfred.
Snooping? What do you mean, peeping through keyholes?
Well, that's what it amounts to.
What'd you see?
I took no active part in the investigation. I left that to my factotum.
Factotum? Is this yours? He's got a report there. It goes way back.
It says Fred was in a hotel with a woman in 1939.
Well, that's nonsense to start with. Hang it, he's only 23 now. That'll make him 12 at the time.
You have a more recent date, Pepys?
I have a very sultry hotel occasion only 10 days ago, sir. 10 days ago, I was in Belfast. Well, according to my schedule, you was in Eastbourne.
Are you sure you haven't made a mistake?
I've never made one yet, ma'am. Here it is, top of the page. Private case number 37, investigation into the life of Alfred Gilby. Alfred Gilby? You've got it all wrong. My name's Alfred Gilby. I'll just go and see if the car's there, Mother.
I'll show him.
Oh, Lydia, you're being awfully bitter. Oh, I know how you feel, but it isn't the children's fault. As for your husband, if he is guilty, surely it's better you should know what sort of a man he is.
I've always known what sort of a man he is, but I just don't like being made to believe it.
I wish you could have a word with my husband before you leave. He's really awfully upset about it.
And so he should be. I'd like an investigation into his past. In my opinion, he's much too good to be true.
I'm wasting my time with such people. If you take my advice, you'll not inquire into your husband's doings. You may rake up more than you expect.
I suppose it takes almost 3 hours to get down there, doesn't it?
Going away?
No, Mother is.
Oh. I suppose you hadn't thought of apologizing for being so rude to my father yesterday.
No, I haven't.
Very well, if you still feel like that.
You know, you're wasting a lot of time. Life's too short for all this lovers finessing. Don't be a twerp.
Terry, Please forgive me, darling. I shouldn't have called your father a nosy park.
Oh, that's all right, as long as you didn't mean it.
Well, of course not. I just impulsively said what I was thinking.
Oh, did you?
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
Where's your mother going?
Only to Eastbourne. Just a routine checkup on Father.
Oh, dear, is that going to mean more trouble?
It'll soon blow over. Oh, don't take things so seriously, darling. You know, when we're married...
We'll have to wait a year and a half for it. Daddy said this morning he'll never give his permission. Not as long as there's a breath in his body.
That's all right, sweet. We'll just have to find a way of removing the breath from his body.
Oh, that's a beastly thing to say.
For the love of Pete.
Listen, Lydia. If you don't lay off, so help me, I'll do something desperate. You've been nattering ever since yesterday, and I can't stand any more of it.
Nor can I. I've put up with you as long as I intend to. This time I'm getting a divorce.
Good.
What? Then I suppose you'll settle down with your Gloria.
Oh, for the 149th time, I tell you, Gloria's a greyhound. It's a miserable coincidence I happened to have her with me when I stayed at that hotel at Eastbourne.
Mr. Pepys said you went swimming with her.
That's an exaggeration. I simply held her by the lead while she paddled.
You were seen kissing her in the lounge.
Well, I'm very fond of her. That's why I had her basket moved to the adjoining bedroom.
During the night, you were seen to go in and out of that bedroom on 3 different occasions.
Well, I was worried about her. You see, she's not house-trained.
Oh, all right, don't shout.
You're going to miss your train, Mother.
A greyhound in a bedroom. Ha!
Listen. Gloria cost me 800 quid. What am I going to do? Let her sleep on the beach?
She's probably slept there before. That's if she sleeps at all at night.
Think she's gone for good? No. Yeah? What's she making for? Eastbourne. Really? Well, not that I mind, Mark. I just don't think Eastbourne will agree with her.
Oh, you make me tired.
What's the matter with you?
I think you've reached an all-time low.
Now, listen, don't you start anything.
Well, isn't it about time you pulled yourself together?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Fooling around with a woman at your time of life, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Get out. You hear? Get out.
Okay, Daddy. Sugar Daddy.
There's a Mr. Peeps to see you, sir.
Peeps? Oh, yes. Show him in.
Very good, sir. The person, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. You miserable sneaky puss. You broke up my home and deliberately ruptured my family. Well, I didn't act with malice aforethought. That makes it worse. I'm going to take action against you. Or would you rather have 200 quid? Meaning what, sir? Meaning I want you to do a little investigating for me. Well, I'll be very glad to, sir. Good, sit down. I want you to dig, dive, and ferret into the life of Humphrey Proudfoot. If you rake up something nasty, the money's yours. I'll let you off the libel. Otherwise, I'll get you 15 years imprisonment. And let the boys work over you as well. Have a drink. Well, Mr. Gilby, sir, I'd do anything in the world to make you happy, but since Mr. Proudfoot got married, there's been nothing you could even put a finger on. Ah, there must be something somewhere. There is in everybody's life. What about before he was married? Ah, now you're talking. Go on, what did he do? Well, he had a very serious love affair with a young lady in the post office at Opsley. Opsley, where's that? It's just outside Lock's Bottom. Lock's what? Bottom. Oh, it's near Orpington, Kent. Or was it Kensington Orp? No, I'm a liar. Orpington, Kent. They used to go on cycling trips together. Audrey Cuttle, the lady's name was. Mr. Proudfoot was madly in love with her. Yes, it was highly romantical, but it had the usual ending, and they parted most unhappy. And now, always on the same anniversary, Mr. Proudfoot sends a bunch of rosemary and old man's beard to the Harvest Festival at Lock's Bottom. Yes, rosemary for remembrance and old man's beard for remorse. I know it's still on his conscience. You're sure this was before his marriage? 18 months before, sir. Ah, what a pity, what a pity. You can say that again. What a pity. Mark you, the young lady did have a beautiful bouncing boy very shortly afterwards. Very like Mr. Proudfoot and all he was, too. You mean? I'm afraid so, sir. Is the boy still alive? Well, as far as I know, sir, yes. This Audrey, what's her name? Do you know where to find her? I think so, sir. My last contact had her registered as promoted to a post office in Upper Norwood. Look, go and get her at once. At once, sir? At once. Very good, sir. Peeps, if you can do this for me, I'll give you 300 quid. Even if it means opening up the last sack of notes. Very good, sir. Hello, Fred. Been down the kennels? Yes. Oh, you're going to be very proud of your old daddy. Why? I'm not only going to make Proudfoot give his consent, he's going to beg you to marry Cherry. How are you going to manage that? You wait and see. Oh, what a beautiful day. Yes, it is. Do you know where I'd like to be right now? No, where? Eastbourne. Yes. Is that toll? It was quick. No, not complaining. This is Nelson, 6666. Yes. I want Eastbourne, 44044.
Hotel Kimberley, good morning. Who? Mr. Gilby. Oh, hello, Alfred.
Listen, honey, I want you to do something for me. If my wife turns up today, tell her Gloria was a greyhound.
Greyhound? Oh, really, Alfred? But what about the registration book?
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Look, I'll tell you what. Just put bitch in brackets.
Mm-hmm. What?
Eh? All right. Goodbye, my sweet. Bye-bye.
Alfred!
Good afternoon. Gloria, what are you doing here?
Alfred, something dreadful has happened. Somebody has been checking up on us.
All right, keep calm, keep calm.
I don't know who the idiot was, but he called at my flat, cross-examined my maid, and she told him I had been to Eastbourne.
Well, no law against that, provided your husband doesn't know.
But he does. My maid got scared and told him.
Didn't you say that our friendship was platonic?
I tried to, but I couldn't remember that word.
Hang it, I wrote it down for you.
Oh, Alfred, I'm so scared he's coming to see you.
When?
Right now. He was phoning for a taxi when I left.
Up the top floor, quick.
Oh, I do hate all with this hiding business. What was that word again?
Platonic.
What does it mean?
Oh, anemic.
Alfred,
Oh, hello, Lyd. I thought you were in Eastbourne.
I wanted to go.
But I persuaded her not to.
Who told you to butt in?
I will ignore your insults, Gilby, and proceed to the point. On her way to the station, your wife called at my office and requested the name of that hotel at Eastbourne. She was in a state of great distress. That moved me deeply. I calmed her to the best of my ability and finally persuaded her to overlook the whole of that disgraceful incident on one condition.
Come on. What's the phony little clause that can be interpreted in 5 different ways?
Mrs. Gilby, now my client insists that if the Eastbourne incident is overlooked, you will solemnly undertake irrevocably to turn your back on wine, women, and song.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like wine, I can't sing, and as for women...
Excuse me, Mr. Gilby. I found this woman wandering about on the top floor. She says she's a very personal friend of yours. Is she?
I've never seen her before in my life.
Okay, Romeo, that settles it. But now I'm going to tell everything to my husband.
You unspeakable hound. For the sake of decency, somebody should shoot you.
Could you keep one down?
Certainly not.
Try and stop me.
Mrs. Gilby.
We large brandy, honey.
Sorry, sir. We're not open yet. Another 5 minutes. I presume, Gilby, it is quite unnecessary for me to advise you that I will allow no further association between your son and my daughter.
Oh, yes, you will. I know something about you.
What do you mean?
Ever heard of a village called Opsley?
No, never.
It's just outside Lock's Bottom, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do. There was a post office at Opsley, wasn't there? Where you used to go and fill your fountain pen. As you leered at the innocent girl behind the counter.
Oh, monstrous.
Her name was Audrey Cuttle.
Oh!
And a few months after you cycled away, smilingly twirling your moustache, a little baby boy arrived who looked disgustingly like you.
No, no!
Yes, oh yes, that's why you're not stopped this wedding, Big Toe. You see, unless you give your consent, I'll tell all your colleagues in the temple that you're an illegitimate father.
Your granny, sir.
Hmm? Oh. And another...
What are you doing here? I thought you were at the office.
Oh, did you, dear?
What's the matter with you? You're as white as a sheet.
Oh, just business worries, dear, that's all.
Humphrey, you're ill.
Oh, no, dear. No, I'm all right. Quite all right. Well, I'll just get along to the office.
Mr. Gilby won't be a moment, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all, sir.
Mrs. Gilby isn't anywhere about, is she?
No, sir. We don't know where Mrs. Gilby is.
You don't think anything's happened, do you?
Well, I asked Mr. Gilby that. He said it was no good counting our chickens before they were hatched.
Well, little old big toe. You're looking very happy.
Gilby, I've got to speak to you. Where is Audrey Cuttle?
My last report located her at Norwood. She wants to see you.
Oh, what on earth am I going to do?
Don't keep talking about doing things. You've done enough already.
If my wife finds out, I'm finished.
Why, haven't you ever told her about your adolescent wild oats?
No, I have not. And I'd rather you didn't express that term in the plural. Audrey was the only oat.
A very successful harvest.
Oh, why didn't she get in touch with me? She might have known that I wouldn't shirk my duty. How did you get to hear of it?
I have my little contacts.
Oh, that she should turn up after all this time. Oh, how is it going to end, Gilby? How is it going to end?
Well, you haven't told me how it started yet. Come on. Tell Daddy.
It must have been 25 years ago. I believe it was on a Thursday.
What are you referring to?
The day I first met Miss Cuttle.
Oh, we don't want when you first met her. Let's start from where you got to know her better.
She was such a sweet little load of mischief. I used to call her Gypsy.
What?
She so reveled in trees and woods and things. She knew all the names of the birds and the flowers. She could even light a fire without matches.
So it appears.
She was born for the fields and the open air. Oh, they shouldn't have confined her in a post office.
I bet it passed away a dull hour or so. What did she call you?
I'd rather not say.
Come on.
No.
Come on. What did she call you?
Pixie.
You sloppy apeth.
Oh, why did they have that early closing day?
Why, what happened? Did you take her for a walk?
Yes.
Did you? Did you keep on walking?
No, we stopped to gather some primroses. I remember she picked almost twice as many as I did.
Yes, but she had her mind on what she was doing.
Oh, it was such a lovely day.
Oh, hang it, don't blame the weather for it.
It did contribute. When the sun is high and the blood is hot and the bees dance a happy fandango, nature herself seems to smile on impulse. And I was such a carefree young rip in those days.
Well, you don't sound too old-fashioned now. Does your wife know that bit about the bees' fandango?
No. I kept all that side of me hidden from her. Oh, Gilby, you don't know how I've suffered. For 25 years, I've lived with remorse. Oh, what a price to pay for the frailty of one fleeting moment.
Oh, don't talk like that. You're not a butterfly.
Do you think I should get in touch with her? Or just let the thing lie fallow?
I'm afraid it's out of your control. She's getting in touch with you.
What?
Yeah, she's calling here this afternoon.
Oh!
Gypsy's going to tell you fortune.
Oh, you crafty, cunning cad. You arranged all this.
Every single move of it.
Then let me tell you something. I won't give my consent. I'll fight you tooth and nail. Pressure I may give way to, but blackmail never.
It'll get into the papers, you know. Imagine the headlines. Gypsy jilted or passion in the post office.
Oh, I'd better join the Foreign Legion.
Alternatively, you can make two young people happy. Hang it, man, they only want to marry. You should be the first to smile at that word.
Oh, very well.
You give your consent?
I've no alternatives.
Splendid.
On one condition, that you help me to eliminate Audrey.
Oh, well, that's easy. I know how to deal with her. Proudfoot, don't dislike me because I'm in the greyhound business. I'm giving it up.
Oh, thank heaven. Are you really?
I'm going to be a bookmaker.
There's a Mr. Sampson to see you, sir.
Samson? Who's Samson?
Gloria's husband, sir.
What? Don't let him in. Tell him I'm out.
He's a very insistent gentleman, sir. I can attend to him privately if you wish it.
No. Don't any rough stuff. All right. I'll see him in a minute.
Very good.
This needs diplomacy. Now, let's have a look at you. Yeah, sure. I think you're better without these. Yes, that's better.
But Samson won't believe I'm you.
Why shouldn't he? He's never seen me before.
Here, what are you doing with my dispatch case?
I just want to borrow it for a moment.
Why have I got to pretend I'm you in bed?
Don't you see, nobody hits a man when he's ill. Now, as soon as you've broken the first big wave, I'll come back and take over. Got it? But so help me if you double-cross, it's Primrose Day for you.
Mr. Sampson, sir.
You are Mr. Giblet?
Yes, I suppose so. Oh, won't you sit down?
Now, sir, I'm a man of the world, and you have given me very good proof that you are too. I take it you have fallen in love with my wife. Well, Gloria is a very charming woman, but I'm not as young as I used to be, and she thinks of nothing but dancing. Sometimes I don't know if I'm jitterbugging or some fight to say. Mr. Giblet, you love her. You can have her. It's only a matter of a quick divorce. Can't we come to some little arrangement?
Over my dead body. Who are you? If you must know, I am Gregory Throssell, K.C., M.G., E.R.P. and P.A.Y.E. Legal advisor to Mr. Gilby, and a very great friend of all the divorce court judges.
No, you can't do this.
Mr. Gilby is apparently surprised at my willingness to undertake so trivial a case. I would like to inform him that I am lowering myself for the sake of his wife. Quitem apartum from littleum gypsiorum. Se tre necessaire?
Oui.
John Henry Sampson, on behalf of my client Alfred Cornelius Gilby, whom I shall henceforth refer to as Mr. X, I feel it my duty to inform you that I have overheard every word that has passed between you.
Hang it, I have the right to object to his philandering with my wife.
Objection overruled. You have been condoning, conspiring, and contempting. Not only have you created a nuisance, you have blatantly attempted to hawk your conjugal rights. In brief, you have completely nullified your affidavits, and I intend to take action against you for an infringement of the laws governing innocent misconduct. You have not let yourself in for something.
Please?
Here are we. Horses for courses, runners and riders adepts. Sheep stealing, writing on walls, ringing on doorbells and running away.
But I'm here.
Accessory to breach of domestic copyright. 15 years.
No.
Quiet, you.
Don't feel very well.
Don't sit down. You're going in a moment.
But, Mr. Throssell, if £1,000 would help.
I didn't quite catch that.
I mean, if £2,000...
Think we should try again?
No, you've done enough already.
Mr. Sampson, if out of misguided respect for your ancient rights I agree not to press this charge, do you solemnly undertake to leave Mr. Gilby ex posto facto?
Yes.
And in all matters appertaining to your wife, you will behave modo prescripto. That'll be 6 and 8pence. Be no change. Exit as you go.
Thank you. May I go now?
You may.
Gilby, what have you done?
Made £11.10 free of tax.
Oh, monstrous. I'll trouble you for my spectacles, please. Thank you. What's going to happen if Sampson makes inquiries? Throssell may get 6 years.
All right, we want him out of the way anyway. Everything's working out splendidly.
Or Miss Audrey Cuttle, as calls it.
All right, show her in the sitting room, Charles.
Very good, sir.
Gilby, you've got to help me.
If you swear on your oath you'll never revoke your consent to the marriage.
I swear it.
All right, do what I can.
Wait. Perhaps I'd better see her alone first. She might forgive me if I wheedle her.
All right, don't you start anything. If she starts to get difficult, you give me a shout.
Wait.
Oh, I've called to see Mr. Gilby. Will you tell him I'm here, please?
Oh, surely you're not Audrey Cuttle.
I certainly am. Who are you?
I'm Humphrey Proudfoot.
Oh, well, ridiculous. You can't be.
Well, I should know.
Oh, you have changed.
Well, so have you. You're sure you're not your mother?
Pixie, don't be unkind.
Oh, but this just isn't true. I remember you as something quite different.
Well, it's 25 years ago.
Oh, yes, of course.
Aren't you going to ask me to sit down?
Oh, yes, I beg your pardon. I was thinking of something else.
Oh, don't start that all over again, please. Have you still got your bicycle?
No, I gave that away some time ago. The chain broke.
Oh, how you used to love freewheeling down those hills. You did live dangerously, didn't you?
Oh, that was just the bravado of youth.
Ah, yes, when we were young. How the years slipped by after 40. Here, you haven't got much hair left, have you? Was that through worrying about me?
Yes, I did worry quite a bit.
Oh. Do you remember the little post office?
Yes, I can see it now.
No, you can't. They've pulled it down. Aren't you going to kiss me?
Oh, steady, Audrey. I'm married now, you know. My wife would never forgive me.
Well, what's it got to do with her? I begged you long before she did. Pixie, kiss Gypsy.
Oh, very well. Just one quickly. But do realize it's got to last you.
You've lost your fire. You didn't used to be so stingy.
Oh, do stop this hanky-panky, Audrey. We're grown-up people now.
Yes, and somebody else is growing up as well.
Oh, what does one say? What does one say?
Well, hang it. You might at least say thank you.
Have you a certificate of his birth?
Yes, I have. I thought you might want to see it. There it is, in black on white.
Why did you call him Willie?
Well, that's what I kept whispering to myself when you went away. Will he come back? I jolly well think it's time you did something about it.
Oh, I'm only too anxious to do all in my power.
Well, how much are you willing to go to?
You mean money?
Of course I do.
Oh, this is disgraceful.
What about your behaviour? You can't play fast and loose with a girl and not expect to pay for it in some way. I'm sorry, Pixie, but this is most unsatisfactory. I shall have to speak to Mrs. Proudfoot.
No, 1,000 times no.
Where is she?
Merciful magistrate, what are you up to now?
Did somebody call me? Ah, the little man.
Who are you?
I'm Mrs. Proudfoot, utterly charmed to meet you.
Well, I find this rather embarrassing.
Oh, nonsense, my dear, nonsense. As I told Humphrey when we went to his old school, I'm only too delighted to meet any of his old mistresses.
You're a very big woman, aren't you?
Oh, small outsized, dear. Ah, I believe I hear the teething. Oh, goody, goody, goody. Won't you sit down, dear? Humphrey? Oh, do make yourself at home. You'll find the chair quite comfy.
Will that be all, sir?
Sir?
For Pete's sake.
Charles, what are you staring at?
I beg your pardon, miss.
Miss?
Madam.
That's better. I don't know what's the matter with Charlie. I do hope he hasn't been taking my Benzedrine. Well, now, who's going to be mother? Will you? After all, it's your turn.
Oh, very well. But do let's get it over.
I never touch tea.
Fancy. And you in the civil service. Will you have a little tart? I use the word with the greatest respect.
Pixie, does your wife know about us?
Yes. No. That is, I'm not at all certain.
Thank you, Ducky. Foxy little fellow, isn't he? Of course, my dear. I've known about it for years.
Well, what you going to do about it? After all, I've got Willie to think of. Would you consider a divorce?
No. Never.
No, we couldn't do that. You see, I've already condoned Hump's little lapse at Lock's Bot. You haven't given me any sugar, Ducky.
Oh.
Pixie! What are you doing? Oh, you are a careless man.
Oh, steady. You seem to be enjoying this.
Pixie, I've told you never to snap at me. Go and sit down. With Audrey.
Oh! You're a very dominating woman, aren't you? I bet you wear the trousers.
On and off, dear, off and on.
Mrs. Proudfoot, don't you think I'm entitled to a substantial sum of money?
Well, how much do you suggest?
Well, I'll settle the whole thing for £200.
Are you willing to put that in writing, Audrey?
Yes, certainly.
Oh, splendid. Well, I'll give you the money tomorrow morning.
Oh, very well. But in the meantime, perhaps you'll let me have that birth certificate back.
No, 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 I'm holding on to that if you don't object.
Well, I do object. I object most strongly. Where is
Well,
it?
leave me alone, Audrey.
No,
I will not be
Pixie!
molested like this. Please,
Pixie!
please, please.
Pixie!
You're behaving like a virago.
No,
I will not give it up.
Please, the Brewsters behave like ladies.
Mine's just the same, too.
Pixie!
Leave me alone, leave me alone.
I'll get out
No,
in a minute.
no, you won't. Leave me alone, Audrey. No, no, no. I will not be molested.
Pixie!
Leave me alone.
Don't,
Leave me alone. No. Oh, no, leave me. No, leave me alone.
What are you doing?
Oh, dear.
Humphrey.
Who was that?
Where do you want to go? Anywhere, dear. Hop on.
Humphrey, listen. I'm your wife, but I still love you. Why are you struggling with that woman?
I don't know.
How long have you known her?
Oh, for years. I mean, I've just met her.
What is her name?
I forget.
Oh, you can't forget.
I know.
Humphrey, just put yourself in my place for a moment. You leave for the office. Suddenly I find you back at the flat studying a law book and making notes about children who have no legal parents.
I was only interested.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, you must know.
Why?
Humphrey, what do you expect me to think? What happens? Off you go to the office for a second time, then I find you in the Gilby flat, rolling on the floor with... Humphrey, who was that woman? Who was she? Humphrey. Humphrey. Who was that woman?
Oh, no.
Humphrey, who was that woman?
Oh!
Wait a minute, what's the matter, baby? It's time of the morning. Wait a minute, I can't get it.
Charles, I must see Mr. Gilby.
Well, I'll find it for you, sir, if it's really urgent.
Thank you. You won't have to wait, Mrs. Gilby, will you?
Oh, no, sir, Mrs. Gilby's sleeping in one of the spare rooms.
What's all the trouble? What's going on? What is it? Oh, it's you, is it?
Oh, Gilby, you've no idea what I've been through. My wife's been cross-examining me.
Ever since you found you with little Audrey, eh?
How on earth did you know?
You make me laugh. You're only a beginner at the game. Come have a drink.
Did you have trouble with your wife?
Nothing the trouble I had with a man on a motorbike. Have a drink.
No, not for me. It's too late. I mean, it's too early.
Well, make your mind up. What is the time?
2:25 a.m., plus 3 minutes precisely.
Well, it's fine. The bar's open. Hooray! Here, have a drink.
No, certainly not. Not for me.
Come on, it'll do you good.
No, definitely no.
Go on, it'll keep the cold out.
No, emphatically, I refuse.
Just one with the swing doors.
I don't mind if I do. Will you add some soda, please?
Oh, yes. What's the time now?
I couldn't care less. You've drowned it. I want to tell you something.
What?
I believe I like you.
Thank you very much. Shall I tell you something, too?
Yes, please.
I like you.
Dear old pals, jolly old pals, clinging together in all sorts of weather. And don't forget, Throstle, the number of that birth certificate is LB 476558. Have you got that?
Yes, I've got it, Mr. Proudfoot. But it'll mean leaving the office empty for some considerable time. Well, what about Mrs. Gorman? Very well, sir. I'll beetle off to Somerset House at once.
Off you go then, and ring me as soon as you have any news. Oh, hello, Cherry.
Daddy, are you all right?
Oh, splendid, thank you, dear. What's Mummy doing?
Leaving.
What?
She's packing her bags. She's going to stay with Auntie Jenny.
Oh, impossible. Why, Jenny's husband is a missionary. He's going to Hollywood in October.
Mummy says she might go with him. Oh, Daddy, please tell me what's been happening. You can't let her leave you like this.
I can only ask you both to trust me.
Hello, sweet. I've looked up a train we can catch. Shouldn't you be at the office?
Eh? Great heavens, yes. It's nearly 11 o'clock. I'm Mrs. Gorman's dripping tap case at 10:30.
Couldn't it drip until tomorrow?
Yes, I suppose so. It's been dripping for over 2 years. What have you got there?
Form UA 2794. I think you had better have your consent in writing before you change your mind.
Oh, very well.
It's no use, Fred. Both parents have to sign that form. Mother absolutely refuses until Daddy puts his cards on the table.
Cherry, I thought I told you not to come to this flat.
Mummy, are you going to sign your consent or not?
Until I know whether your father's moral outlook has been influenced by Mr. Gilby, I am not.
Then that leaves us no alternative.
None at all.
Cherry, don't appeal for legal permission. Don't do that, I beg you.
This is all your fault, Humphrey Proudfoot. If anything happens to Cherry, I shall never forgive you. I shall leave you.
Oh, the agony of mind and soul. I'm nothing but a psychological Aunt Sally.
Big Toe. What's the matter? What's the trouble?
My wife's threatening to leave me. Cherry's kicked over the traces. Audrey's calling here at any moment, and I haven't got her £200.
Well, go and get it.
Oh.
Come on. Don't stand there like a big baby. Go and get it.
This'll shake the bank.
$199, 200. Good, right. Now we're ready for Audrey.
Here. But Gilby, what's going to happen if your wife walks in?
I'm happy to advise you she isn't here. Charles and I have searched the flat and she's missing.
Well, aren't you going to look for her?
Not likely.
But she may have thrown herself into the Thames. Surely you ought to make inquiries.
She's good at that. If she throws herself in the Thames, she's off the French coast by now. Have you got Willie's birth certificate?
Yes. Here it is.
Good. How do we know this isn't a phony?
That's just the point. We don't. But just to make sure, I phoned young Throstle this morning, gave him the full particulars of the entry, and asked him to check it at Somerset House. Ah, this may be him now. Hello. Yes, Throstle. Mr. Proudfoot speaking. Oh, splendid fellow. It was, and it wasn't. Oh, 3 hearty cheers. It did, and it didn't. Oh, bravo. Yes, do. No, don't. Oh, magnificent. Thrust on, Throstle. Heaven bless you, my boy. Goodbye.
Well, I've heard some silly conversations.
Gilby, the birth of Audrey Cuttle's child has not been registered at Somerset House.
You mean she's a phony?
Well, I'm not sure, but she may be. Oh, if only she is.
We must investigate your Audrey. Can you remember anything distinctive about her? I mean, before she went out to seed?
Yes. One evening in the village hall at Oxley, we attended a revel. Audrey was superb. She stood out from all the others like a ballet dancer. Suddenly, perhaps because she was in love with me, Audrey surrendered herself to the wildest abandon. then that I noticed that she had knock knees.
That's no good. We can't go wandering about listening for things like that. Can't think of anything else.
Only that she used to react rather strangely whenever I sang to her.
Yes, well, that's just ordinary nausea. What do you sing?
And when I tell them how beautiful you are.
Ooh, well, I couldn't stand that. No, there's nothing for it. I'll have to hold her in conversation while you investigate her knees.
Absolutely out of the question.
If you'll just sit beside her on the settee.
I won't sit beside her anywhere.
Well, aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh, I beg your pardon, yes. This is Mr.
Sampson.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Sampson. He's my...
Financial advisor.
Yes, that's right, my financial advisor.
Mr. Proudfoot is registered as my bank. You see, he pays in and I pay out. Sometimes it's quite touch and go.
Have you got the money?
Yes, all in my little purse.
What are you keeping your hat on for?
Ah, that's an old coot's custom.
I believe I've seen your face before.
Oh, don't say it like that, as if I was hanging on the wall somewhere. Let's sit down, shall we? Let's be nice and comfy and cosy. That's it. You all right, Miss Cuttle?
Yes, I'm all right. It's a bit of a squash, isn't it?
Yes, it is rather.
Mr. Sampson.
I beg your pardon?
Pixie!
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just a slip of the hand.
Where's the money?
Ah, here we are. Just a taster. Ready money's elusive, you know. My vaults are full of nothing but post-war credits. Scuttle, dear, are you all right?
Yes, of course I am. You said something comical, made me laugh.
Oh, it really was. I thought you were going to take off.
Do you know something? I believe you're a funny man.
No, I find you amusing as well. To me, you're just a little Miss Worker's playtime.
Stop it! Stop it! Now, will you stop this hanky-panky? Pixie, are you going to give me the rest of the cash?
I'm not altogether satisfied, Miss Cuttle. If our son really does exist, why was his birth not registered at Somerset House?
Did you look in the secret book?
The what book?
The secret book. The out-of-wedlock registrations are kept in a special department, you know. You have to get special permission to look up those records. Did you get special permission?
No.
Miss Cuttle, I'll give you £100 to let me look at your knees.
What do you take me for?
Well, £50 for a peep at one.
I'll slosh your ear hole in a minute.
Go on, Gilbert, now's the chance. Settle one for all. Think of Jerry, think of Fred. Think of Jerry.
Wait.
Go on, settle. Think of Jerry, think of Fred.
Wait.
Go on, settle.
No, we can't have. No, we can't have.
That's the girl I knew had no leaves. I don't care. I will have I must say the worst, all the best.
Oh! And what is going to be the explanation this time?
Oh, they were practicing the Charleston.
I don't want any foolish remarks from you.
If you'll excuse me, I'll go and adjust my dress. It's no thanks to you, I've still got one on.
Humphrey, I'm going to fetch the police.
Oh, Caroline. Oh, it's no use trying to hide it any longer. That woman you saw just now is a piece of my past. From long before I met you. A forgotten page in the book of my life on which I wrote farewell to happiness.
Now tell her about the postscript.
Yes, heaven and earth forgive me. She says I'm the father of her child.
Oh. How old is the baby?
25.
Has she any proof that you're the father?
Not unless she has knock knees.
Oh, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I shall speak to this woman myself.
No, Caroline, don't annoy her.
Oh.
Oh, Gilby, this has dished the whole thing.
Oh, leave 'em to it. Let's go down and have a drink.
No, I'm going to stay here and see it through to the bitter end.
All right, go down by myself. We needn't make it a celebration, just 4 or 5 quick ones, and we'll go back and see how they're getting on.
All right.
Where the heck have you been?
I've been shopping. This happens to be real mink. I'll teach you to play the fool with me, Alfred Gilby. I've spent £2,148. And what is more, I ran into Silas H. Broomfield. He's going to revive The Maid of the Mountains and star me.
What is one of the mountains?
An actress for Cherry's mother-in-law? Not as long as I live.
Oh, Liddy, don't go back to the stage. For your son's sake, don't go back to the stage. Let's back up and go away somewhere.
You mean another honeymoon?
All right, if it'll keep you away from the grease paint.
Oh, my sweet! How wonderful! I'll go and pack my things.
I'll have to have a nervous breakdown or something.
Audrey, what's happened?
I'm not staying here to be cross-examined. I'll give it to the papers.
No, Audrey, please. If one whisper reaches the temple, I'm ruined.
Then pay me to keep silent.
Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Proudfoot.
Oh, excuse me.
I went back to Somerset House and made a much more important discovery. Look, the Miss Audrey Cuttle, who used to live at Oxley, passed away 20 years ago.
Oh, heaven be praised. I mean, poor soul, I'm sorry.
Then this woman's an imposter.
And there isn't any Willie.
No. Oh, dear, I'd better tell the truth.
You certainly had.
Who are you?
I'm Emily Pepys, the sister of your divorce case investigator.
What good heavens?
Yes, it was him that put me up to it. Well, you talked so much about Miss Audrey Cuttle that he couldn't resist the temptation. So he primed me up with all particulars and sent me along with that phony birth certificate.
Oh, what a merciful release.
Aren't you going to send for the police?
No, Throstle, no. Take her along to the office and check that story with her brother. I'll see them both later.
Well, it looks like it's safe for us to go upstairs again, doesn't it?
Yes, with shoulders square and chins high.
I'm willing to forget all about it, Humphrey. After all, the real Audrey was many years ago, and before we were married. But I feel so worried about Cherry.
She'll be all right, dear. Why, when I was a young girl...
Oh, for Pete's sake, Lyd, don't go into that. Look, Kelly, darling, I'll lay you 6-4 she's all right.
Oh, sir. Something terrible's happened. This note's just been delivered. As it was urgent, I've read it, sir.
Caroline, listen to this. We are catching the 2:30 train from Waterloo and hope you will forgive us. We are making for Salisbury because in the book you gave me for Christmas, Ancient Religions and Rites, it says that if a boy and a girl walk 3 times round Stonehenge at sunset, in the eyes of the Druids, they're married. Druids, that's no sort of denomination. Quickly, a taxi for Waterloo.
Hey, Big Toe, where are you going? Come here. Why don't you leave the kids alone? Don't go and spoil things now.
I'll stop that heathen wedding if it's the last thing I do.
Where are you making for?
Stonehenge.
Ah, you're not.
No.
There! Come on,
I will not be frustrated by a man like you.
Come on, Victor, out of the way.
I tell you I am.
I tell you you're not.
I tell you I am.
Don't be a silly little man. I tell you you're not.
I'm going.
I'm not going to let you go.
I tell you I'm
No,
going.
you're not. Don't be a silly little man.
I tell you I am.
You've no need to go down there.
Don't
Come
you
on,
interfere.
come on.
I will not be interfering.
Yeah, you get back in there. Thank you very much.
Get out of my way! Get out of my way!
Go away. Go away.
There!
No!
There!
Come on,
I
Adam.
will not be frustrated!
Get out of the way.
I insist on staying! I insist on getting out!
Get out of the way, you silly little man. Shut that gate. Get up.
I will not.
Get out of the way.
I won't get out. I won't
You're going.
I don't care.
Look, you... Oh. Now look what you've done. You've broken it.
Whole thing upon thing!
Hey, help.
Help! Assistance!
Hey, porter.
Help!
Don't keep pressing all the buttons. You've done enough damage already.
Hey, I say, what happens if we press this one?
Oh, don't press that. We should go up to a sheet of flame or something.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Oh, now you've done it. To bring the fire brigade out.
What? Oh, holy smoke!
Half an hour, my sweet, we'll be in Salisbury. What's the matter?
I don't want to go to Stonehenge. I would hate a Druid's wedding.
Right then, we'll go back.
Can't. Is it a non-stop?
We can soon alter that.
Take it easy. I got it. There we are.
Oh, Humphrey.
Oh, Caroline. Oh, calamity.
Fred. Thanks for being a darling. I didn't really want to go to Stonehenge, and I would hate a Druid's wedding.
Any sort of wedding will do me.
Cherry. Oh, my darling, you've come home. Humphrey, she's come home.
Cherry! Cherry, before I give you the welcome I long to give you, tell me one thing.
Yes, Daddy?
Are you a Druid?
No, Daddy, not yet.
Oh, praise be.
Oh, my baby. Humphrey, for heaven's sake, sign that form.
What form? Oh, but I haven't got a pen.
We'll make a mark or anything, only do something now.
Well, oh, thank you very much. Most considerate.
What's the matter, darling? Is anything wrong?
Not a thing. I just wanted to see you the way the people in church saw you.
Oh, Fred, I'm so happy. Do you think the other people in Paris will know we're just married?
Well, how could they?
Fred, the others.
They're still on their way from church. You know, I was just wondering, which of our fathers will dominate the other?
And here's one coming through with a late run on the rails. It's Charcoal. 50 yards to go and he's level, 25 yards, and Charcoal's got his head in front. Charcoal's winning it, and at the post it's Charcoal the winner, the lad second, and Playboy third.
That's done it. Charcoal, the favourite. Why did he have to win?
I told you we were taking to make charcoal bets.
That puts an end to this firm.
Who asked you?
Shut up, all of you. How much have we lost?
42,000.
Why must I have a bunch of nitwits around me? I can't leave anything to anybody. Why must I do everything myself?
You done it, didn't you?
Stop picking your teeth. It's an office, not a cafe.
Charcoal won it. We've done a packet. 42,000 quid. We're finished.
Oh, no, we're not, Gilby. I laid all the charcoal bets off this morning.
You did? Oh, that's a stroke of genius.
Nonsense. Ordinary common sense. Get on with the work, Gilby.
Very good, sir.
Bye.